Okay, I think we're live. We should be. I'm just on my laptop. I'm away, so I don't. Hopefully you can hear me. I don't have anyone to check. It looks like it's coming through. Apologize for that. It's 1:30. I don't know. The alternative was not doing one, and I didn't want to miss one. So I can't tell if I'm live. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna go through with this, and hopefully hopefully it streams and records at least, and you can watch it back on the YouTube on the replay. I wanted to title this "Become a Direct Mail Pro in an Hour." I thought, what are some of the broadest concepts that I can share that will give you the ability to be a pro in a sense on postcard marketing in an hour time or so that I do a live stream. By the way, I'm gonna try to schedule these better because I got a lot of flack for my last live. You're talking about everything other than marketing and stuff, and I don't want to sit here for 2 hours and hear about something else. So I think I'm going to avoid responding to every comment. I'm just going to try to stay on topic and maybe do Q&As after. I don't know. I don't really know, to be honest with you. I see people on here, so Ed Jr. says my volume is real bad. I don't know how to fix that because I use the worst software in the world, which is Ecamm. I don't know. I can bump it up a little bit. I've got it on like 90 right now. I could pump it up even higher. I don't have a microphone or anything. I'm just using my MacBook Pro. I don't know. Turn the volume up. That's all I can say. Lara Cavaliers here. Thank you for joining. Thanks, guys. We'll do some shout outs. I can't rig the contest. I didn't have time to rig it, to put it up. So it's just going to be on this topic. Become a direct mail pro in an hour. I'm not used to using my laptop, so forgive me. Am I even on this? Let's do shout outs. I'm just not used to these menus where they are. Joshua Polche says it sounds good. Hi, Taylor Murphy. You never said if you got your paper or your nice suede cards. Infinite Limit says it sounds pretty good, so that's good. Okay, maybe it's all right. So I'm going to shout out a few people here. This week, I might have missed some. I'm not sure. Zoe did a good job getting everyone together, but it's always kind of stressful trying to get everyone's pictures and stuff. Chris Simpson in Lansing, Michigan. I think it's his 4th card. I'm not sure. It's 3rd, 4th, something like that, but he's wearing the Rescue Squad shirt. What a great picture there, Chris. I traded space to the Bounce House Kings for my son's 2nd birthday, so he gave him a space on his card and got a free bounce house, it looks like. He loved the dinosaur bounce house. Thank you for showing me this method of advertisement. I love trading my spaces away. I'm not even trying to make much money doing this, just getting those free goods and services. That's awesome, Chris. Great job. Who else we got? Danielle Burton on the 4th card. Is that the 4th? I didn't think that was your 4th. I think we might have messed that up, but that's a great job. That's amazing. Danielle and team. Who else we got here? Chad Crawford, another Texan in Springtown. Great job. When you see 6,000 pieces like that, it's usually 5,000 and then flyers. 1,000 flyers. David Devine in Chadsford, PA. Great job. Huge shout out. I had someone email that says, I don't care about the shout outs. Don't even show them. I like them, though. Cody Woods. Not in Hutton, I would assume it's pronounced. Not in Hutton, Ohio. Amazing job there. Hang on, I'm covering up the whole family there. Amazing job. Jeremy Monroe in San Francisco, California. Great looking card. Those ads are looking good. I like that background. William Triano in Woodland, North Carolina. Looking great. Charmaine Adkins in Minden, Nevada. That's her second card. Nice job there. Charmaine. Jason McCoy in Pittsville. That's his second card. I don't know why we don't have a thing on there, but that's his second. Might even be his third. I think it's his second, though. Lara Cavalier, who's live in the chat, saw her earlier there. Beautiful family in Hesperia, California. I've heard about that city before. Hesperia. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Brian Strassheim with his second card. Nice job with the River Valley exclusive on another 10K out there in Dover. I think that's all. Yeah, that's all the shout outs we could get together this week. I think we missed a few, but great job, everyone. Especially Chris Simpson there, because he's wearing the Rescue Squad hoodie. He didn't want a camo one. He wanted a black one, but I sent him a camo one. I like that one. Where is my little presentations? Well, thank you too, Jeremy Monroe. I'm just going through these comments quick. Will Bradwell of EDDM Tools, of the famous Rapid Slips that makes your EDDM paperwork quick and easy, says, I'm here. I'm just got off the phone with a prospect that called me. That's always good. Nicholas Clare just got the sample pack. Thought for a few minutes you weren't going to make it, Bruce said. Well, I didn't think I was going to make it. I was trying, but two of our kids had pink eye, one yesterday and one today, and we're like 40 minutes from an urgent care. We're away for a week or so, and so we've been making back-to-back trips to the urgent care for this pink eye, and that had to get that done this morning. I didn't know if I was going to make it. Brian's checking in from Arkansas. He just got his shout out. Okay, Jane Baclan is here. My trusty assistant, the best assistant ever. Zoe's great too. Okay. Lots of cards this week. Yeah, and a bunch we couldn't even get to. Erica McClellan is here. Awesome. Cody Woods is here. I'm just looking through these comments. Okay, I gotta stop getting sidetracked. Derek, I just sent you an email. You gotta check that email out. Become a direct mail pro in an hour. I'm just gonna give you some really, really basic but really good advice, like super good advice that will make you a way better postcard marketer. So if you're working with clients on anything postcard marketing, this is going to help you tremendously. And hit that like button, please. Probably don't have too many people on today, so I need all the likes I could get. Postcard marketing ROI is typically 5 to 10x. I think you should know that if you're going to be a postcard marketer. If you're going to be a business owner doing postcard marketing, or you're a marketer helping other businesses, ROI is what you really want to be focused on if you're involved in the results of the card. You know, sometimes you're just doing 9x12 ads, or you're just helping someone put together a design or something, and you're not too wrapped up in the performance of the campaign. You don't have to know this stuff too much, but I think that if you're involved in direct mail, and if you're involved in the results of this campaign, you really should know what kind of ROI postcard marketing can bring in. It's typically 5 to 10x, which is high. If you look at most any study, you'll find that postcards, direct mail, is generally the highest ROI marketing there is, next to email marketing. And email marketing is only so high, which is great. I love email marketing, but the reason email marketing is up there at the very top is because it's all house lists. So it's all people that are already on your email list. They're typically already customers or interested parties, and the cost of it is so cheap. So any results have very, very dramatically high ROIs. But for regular prospecting channels, postcard marketing especially, but direct mail in general, has an extremely high return on investment in this 5 to 10x range. That's 500 to 1,000% returns. It's rare that it goes above 10. You know, sometimes you do see things that get up into this like 15x ROI. Pretty rare. And you really don't want to be going too much lower than 5 because then you start breaking even. Sometimes that's okay, but breaking even is generally bad because you're just trading you can, if you have a really good funnel and marketing system set up where you can afford to acquire customers at a break-even cost, that's fine. And really, your ROI would be higher because you're getting money over lifetime value. The reason you're doing it is getting money over lifetime value. But if you are using postcard marketing and you're only breaking even and you don't have any lifetime value, then that would not be good. You really want to be in this 5 to 10x range. I like that metric way better than response. Response is highly dependent on it. Every situation is different. Every business is different. There are so many variables. It's not something across the board. Just because one person gets 1% response doesn't mean another person will. So if you want to look across the board and you want to look at common denominators, ROI is what you should be looking at. ROI. I see a lot of familiar faces in here. A lot. I didn't hit do not disturb, so my phone keeps going off. My next piece of advice is, I hope you're getting a lot out of this. Sorry about the timing. I appreciate all of you that showed up today. Next piece of advice is to always try to mail at least 1,000 targeted or 5,000 EDDM. If you are doing any postcard marketing campaign, you want to try to at least mail 1,000 if you're doing a targeted list, or 5,000 EDDM. I don't think you can have very good predictable results under those quantities. There's some exceptions. I'll talk about them in a second. But you really want to be doing 5,000 EDDM or 1,000 targeted. There's a few reasons why. Let me look through these comments a little bit. Hey, Les, thank you for showing up there. Ronnie likes that it's not that many people. You know, I wish I had the contest set up because there's so few people in here. It would have been fun because we could see the wheel with everyone's names, but unfortunately I don't. Yeah, the pink eye is the worst. The one woke up with it yesterday, and then the other one woke up with it today. Jane and Zoe are great, Brian says. Yeah, they are. They really are. They're the lifeblood of the business. They truly are. Calgary, Alberta, Todd's in. Ellen Sloan is back. Sarah Wilson got her first 9x12 out yesterday. Congratulations, Sarah. That's awesome to hear. The Candace is here. You haven't missed too much. We did some shout outs, and I will, maybe at the end of this, I will just run through these few things that I wanted to show. So if you missed something, we'll go through them again. But always try to mail at least 1,000 target or 5,000 EDM. There's two exceptions. There's maybe a couple other exceptions that I couldn't think of off the top of my head. But one is real estate farming. So if you're a real estate agent, you don't have to worry about that 1,000 piece or 5,000 piece EDDM minimum. If you're farming, so if you're picking an area that you're gonna really focus on and just be the top of mind agent in that particular area, you're not likely to hit 5,000 EDDM. It's going to cost you way too much. The area is going to be way too big. You're not going to dominate a 5,000 person area in most cases. When you get really big, or you have a team and you have lots of agents and and they're all over different areas, and you want to combine forces and put all 5,000, 10,000, 15, 20,000 mailers out, then that makes sense. But as a single real estate agent, you're probably going to be in the range of 1 to 2 carrier routes, most likely, which is going to be somewhere in between like 500 to 1,200 or so, maybe 1,500 at the max people. It's way better to just mail to 1,000 people every single month and do that for a year than try to mail to 10,000 people one time, especially in real estate, because people need to see that. They need to see that multiple times. You cannot just mail and all of a sudden you get listings. Like you're a new agent and you just do one mailing and you have listings all the time. The ROI would be so astronomical that the math wouldn't math. It just doesn't happen that way. So you have to farm the area. You have to just continuously mail, and you will see the results over time. It will happen. So that's an exception. You don't have to do 5,000 a time for real estate agents. And these super hot seasonal things like pressure washing and lawn care in the early spring, you know, when people are just first wanting to do, they're hot to do these things this season. The timing is just so right. You can get away with doing 500 to 1,000 of these 2,500 piece mailers and have good expected results. Otherwise, it's kind of like a crapshoot. You're kind of rolling the dice when you send a 1,000 piece mailer out. Chances are, even if you have a good postcard and a good service, if you send a 1,000 piece EDDM out, the odds are against you. It's just too small of a quantity of a sample size. EDDM is not targeted, so you're hitting so many non-targets. If you're sending 1,000 pieces out, you may only be hitting a dozen targets, true targets. That's why you can get away in targeted mailings of doing so much less, because they're all targets. It's actually cheaper. Targeted mailing is actually cheaper. It's more expensive up front, but it's cheaper in the long run. Bruce says average realtor mails 250 to 500 monthly to the same list for years. Mostly targeted mailings of past clients. Sure. These numbers for real estate, these numbers, small numbers like that work well because you really do want to be that top of mind person. These are very big, emotional, few in a lifetime events where someone sells their house or buys a house. These are major decisions, major, huge life decisions. People do not just make those decisions with anyone on a whim. You have to get to that top of mind. There's other stuff too, and we'll talk about that as well, coming right up here. Bruce said he is glad he jumped on to catch you. Thank you. Appreciate it. I love when you teach things like this, Ronnie said. Well, thank you. I want you to walk away from this, and Terry Steffen is here too. It's great to see you. And of course, Mystical Dragonfly. Pink Eye can be very contagious, I know. And when you have 10 of us here, you know, you just hope it doesn't get everyone. Danielle says, I've had a few clients ask about this week, so this is super helpful. I really want you to be a pro. You know, I want you to come out of this, and all of you guys, and know how comfortably how to talk to people about direct postcard marketing, how to make good postcards. So let's talk about that. The cheat code. I can't stress this enough. I really got to make dedicated videos on this. This is my personal cheat code for great postcards. Anyone can make a great postcard using this cheat code because you don't have to be a good designer. The designer can do the design. If you have the ingredients, the designer can make the thing, you know, like these are the ingredients. Remember this cheat code. Please remember this. Write this down. Put it in your notes. Just remember these three things. You got to view this postcard from the recipient's point of view, so from the consumer. And they'd ask themselves, why do I need this? They get this postcard in the mail. Why do I need this? Why do I need to use them? And why do I need to do this now? A good postcard should answer all those three things. Most of them don't answer any, and some answer some. Very few answer all. But it doesn't have to be explicit. I don't mean writing, why do you need to do this? You need to answer that in a way that they can look at the card and answer that themselves. But try not to be too confusing here. Oh, I love targeted mailers. We'll talk about targeted mailers, Danielle. You want to make sure that someone gets your card and they can look at it and say, oh, this is why I need this. Let's just take a roof, for example. If you just send out a postcard and it says roofing, 20 years in business or something, like your generic, those are serendipity cards. That's what I call them. I think I'm using the term right, serendipity cards. It's like where the people who respond are only responding because they just happen to need that service or they were thinking about that service at that time and you happen to show up in their mailbox. Sometimes that happens. There's real estate agents that do a mailing, their first mailing, they do a mailing and they get a listing. All of a sudden they get a listing. I'm holding up this laptop. It's like really hard to hold this thing up in my hand. It's just serendipity. It's just literally serendipity. Sometimes that happens. That can happen with Facebook ads, digital ads, just a billboard. Someone just happens to need what you're looking for, and they see it. What they're looking for, and they see it. But when you're spending a bunch of money on marketing, you really want to put the odds in your favor. So you want to write things like maybe you might want to introduce fear that if your roof is over 20 years old, it might have this, or does your roof have this, or don't worry about roof leaks anymore. There's like so many things that you can put into the card to answer someone's question in their mind of why do I need this? When people buy a roof, when people buy most things, they don't technically need them usually. They don't, no one looks forward to buying. You know, it's usually like a concept of fear, or they don't like the way it looks. There's something that's driving them to really need to do this, whatever it is. This could be real estate. This could be anything. Answer that question. Why do I need to do this? Why do I need this? And then 2 is, why do I need to use them? Sometimes I talk about this where you can accidentally do the marketing for your competitor. Happens all the time. You can do a marketing piece or any advertising, any marketing, and you didn't do a good job of justifying why you need to use you. So what they do is they say, oh yeah, I really need that. Like, imagine you made this great postcard and you really show them why they need this, whatever your product is, why they really need this. But then you didn't do a good job of explaining why you need to use like you. And they just go, yeah, you know what? Oh, we do have this on our roof. Oh my God, you're right. This is here. Our roof could go at any moment. It's over 20 years old. I see these little cracks in it or something. That means it could go. We better start shopping for roofs. And they go start searching for roofing companies. Just because you did a good job selling them, convincing them that they need that product or service, doesn't mean they're going to actually use you. This happens all the time. You know, someone got hooked on it from your advertising, but then they went off and used someone else. I remember, if you guys remember this guy, Art Gottlieb, he spent like a fortune in Google AdSense on his monster mailer, okay, that he ripped off from me. And he made this giant monster mailer. It was years ago. Some of you might remember him. And he spent a ton in Google AdSense. I'm talking Google ads. Probably for like make money or something online. I don't know. And I was just for like months was just getting like every day someone's like, hey, I found this ad or whatever on for this guy Art, but it's like I'm looking it up and like your thing seems to be identical, and like I got all this business from this guy's advertising. So this happens all the time. A business just does a marketing campaign. They might hook someone onto doing it, and then they go searching and they go work with a competitor because they didn't do a good job of showing why they should use them. And that doesn't mean, 20 years in business, family-owned business. Like, those things hold some weight, but you really have to answer this question of why you should have an advantage of what you should have some kind of advantage over your competitors, right? You should be a solution, or if you're a marketer working with a client, you got to find out what is it that you do better than your competitors. Some businesses don't have an answer to that, and that's why they'll stay small. Finding that reason, those reasons why you got to use them, will bring you in tons of business. It will bring you in so much business. You could get away with just these two, too. Why do I need this, and why do I need to use them? But if you really want to jack up response, this third one, why do I need to do this now, will really just amplify those results. If you have a postcard with all these 3 things on it, it's going to be great. It's going to be a great postcard. But you have to be mailing 5,000 EDDM or 1,000 targeted plus. You can't do this and then send out 500 postcards. Like, you have to have that quantity. You still have to have that quantity in there. Third thing is, why do I need to do this now? Got to answer that question. Some people, it's like, yeah, this sounds great. These people sound great. When we're ready, we'll call them. And they put it. The nice thing about direct mail is that it's easily storable. People forget that all the time. How easily it's stored and how it can go a long time being stored and passed around and then be used suddenly. Real estate agents happens all the time. Someone responded from my postcard from a year ago. I'll get these emails and be like, Jake, you won't believe this. I just got a listing from someone who hung on to my postcard I sent in 2022. If you want to amplify that response, get them to take some kind of action. Why do I need to do this now? If you haven't read it, Oren Klaff's Pitch Anything book is amazing. He has a really, really great formula for the best I've ever seen for putting that kind of thing together. He was a master of that because he was like pitching private equity on these deals and stuff, and just making something look like you have to act on it right now is an art form. Spending a little time. This is marketing. There's not an easy, like, oh, just say this. Like, you have to do some thinking. ChatGPT is here now too, though, to help us. Why do I need to do this now? You don't have to be sleazy about that or sketchy. You can always tie it in with just events. What events are happening? Are there impending price increases? Is there instability of something? Are there supply chain issues? Like, there's so much that you can use to convince someone to do this now or to take this next step, do something now. Why do I need to do this now? People need that little extra push. Joshua says, if I remember correctly, these 3 questions are for direct mail, not 9x12. Yeah, this is about direct. This is about just like your ads, the solo or single postcard mail. So this is also relevant to 9x12s as far as if you're helping someone put an ad together and you're invested in their response. So this might be someone you're close with. This might be a client you're working with. You may have taken on a solo individual campaign or a bigger involved effort with a customer, and now you're starting to be more responsible for their results. I'm not saying that we should always be responsible for the results, because that's not me, especially 9x12s. You're there for exposure. But you're going to run into customers and you're going to have relationships where you are now invested in their results, or they're asking you for advice. Like, hey, I want to do my own solo mailer. Can you help me? You're the marketer. You're gonna want to give them some good advice. You don't want to do single ad campaigns and be like, yeah, well, I don't know how it'll work. You want to help them. So you should be, if you're involved in direct mail, you should have a deep knowledge of postcard marketing, and this is a great start. I don't think you'll find anything like this anywhere either. Will Bradwell says, state another way, benefits, advantages, urgency. Yeah, that would be. That totally would be. Answer that just... I hate those rigid like answers, features, advantages, benefits. They're super, super useful, great to have on a card. Cards should have them. But I like looking at big, wide pictures. For me, this works. And you think of the customer. I look at a card and I say, I'm the customer. Is this answering? Why do I need this? Why do I need to use them? Why should I do this now? Is this answering that? Mario Alvarez is here. Great to see you. And the biggest little postcard with the big shout out last week. Another gold nugget session. Thank you. DRC. I'm going to put your question. Well, I'll run through the comments here. I think I can. William Council says he's been calling Jake. Calling is the slowest way to reach me. I can't. The phone rings all day. I can't answer. I answer sometimes. I'd be on the phone all day. No one would ever reach because I'd be on the phone. Slowest way, just send an email. Send an email. It says it on the voicemail. Please send an email. You've got to send an email. We got a bunch of us on the email, including me. Send that email. Shout out T&A Repair. Very satisfied with the quality of product received and fast service and shipping. Shout out to Jane and your team. I hope she sees that. Jane, Zoe, and all of us are fantastic. Thank you. Ronnie says, I love when he teaches this because it adds an extra layer of value. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, more. Joshua says, could you do an example with, say, a junk removal company? I have some really good junk removal ads. And one of them I share sometimes because he's cool with me sharing it, is the perfect postcard. I don't have it with me because I'm at an Airbnb in the Finger Lakes, so I don't know. I don't have that with me. Another thing is a good postcard should always have these things. There's more things, but these are just really good. This will get you going. Be instantly clear about what it's for. The postcard you should not have to spend any time figuring out what this postcard is for. You should be able to see this postcard from a distance and know that's for cleaning, that's for roofing, that's for windows, that's for bath, that's a pizzeria. From a distance, that thing should be instantly clear what it's for. People will spend so much time making their postcards subtle and hard to read. Like, this thing has to be easy. People don't have a lot of time. They have some time when they're going through the mail, but not a lot of time. You've got to be quick about what this is about. Instantly clear. If you can't look at this card and instantly know what it's for, then you got to revamp it. It's the first thing I look at when someone says, hey, take a look at this card. I need to first see, and what is this for? If it took me a moment to figure out what this is for, or I later, as I'm looking through it, then found out it was for something totally different, that's bad. You're probably going to have a bad campaign. You're just going to waste your money. Big graphic, big headline, it should always have. Get that headline in there. Big graphic. Don't do postcards without graphics. Postcards without graphics are bad. You have no excuse not to use a graphic. You're going to be spending money on a postcard campaign. Spend some money on a nice stock image. Get Canva Pro. There's great images on Canva Pro. Buy a stock image. Use a good image that you have. I don't know. Getting an image should not be a problem. Big headline, too. You got to put a big headline in there. You got ChatGPT. There's no reason you can't get a big headline on your postcard. And make it easy to respond. That means QR codes, URLs that aren't hard to type. I see this every day. Every single day, someone comes in with a postcard and the URL is this long. No one is going to type out that long URL. No one's going to type HTTPS. No one's going to type /this /this. They're not going to type that. You want a URL that is easy to you should be able to look at the email and not have to look at it again. And then be able to enter it because it's just an easy URL. Use a QR code and do SMS text messaging. Write call or text. Call. People like, some people like to email, some people like to text, some people like to call. Don't lose out on people because you're not giving them an option the way that they want to respond. There's a lot of people, especially Gen Z and even millennial, that won't do things that involve calling. They will not call. And this will come into play when, as Gen Z tons of them start to become homeowners, because they'll be looking for real estate agents and insurance, even things like wealth management, chiropractors, and they won't want to call. Calling is not a thing. They will want to text or go to a QR code. They won't want to call. So if you're one of those realtors or someone that's like, well, call me, that's fine, but you're going to be missing out on a lot of people who just do not want to call. They won't call, so they won't go with you. You could also do things like Facebook message, message us on Facebook. For some people, that's a much easier thing to do, is just message on Facebook. It's always funny when businesses are like, I don't reply to messages on Facebook. Like, it's one of the best ways to get business is to just reply on Facebook. Oh, that was gonna show that. That's a really good one. That's all I have. I was gonna mention a thing about the 5,000 pieces. I can't forget to mention that, but I wanted to share this. I shared it in my group. I don't think many people saw it, but in my local to me is, if you know the yogurt brand Chobani, which is a great story. He's one of my business heroes. He lives here, and he built this huge plant. And now he just announced he's building $1 billion plant here in Central New York, another one. But this whole company started when he saw an ad for this old broken down craft yogurt plant. It was it was in my junk pile, and he threw it into the garbage can. And then a half hour later, the dirt on it, I picked it up from the garbage can and I called out of curiosity. So that was a realtor. It was a broker that had these listings, and that guy got, the sale of the Chobani. This is how the Chobani factory. This is how direct mail works all the time. Someone sees it, it looks interesting, and they store it away. It's storable. This is very strong concept to know as a marketer, especially if you're helping other businesses, because you have to relay this to them and explain to them, look, you might do a campaign, but it's not like digital ads where they swipe away and it's gone forever. This is physical. So people put it on their fridge. They put it in a shelf. They put it on their coffee table. You get a lot of staying power with direct mail. It's incredible. The largest life insurance policy ever sold was also through direct mail, unless it's been broken, but I don't think it has. That was sold in 2014 by direct mail. That's a really great story too. Sold by a guy who was a maybe not broke, but kind of broke, low-level investment banker, low-tier investment banker, and I think he maybe got fired or something, and he was just trying to pick up clients for life insurance, and said, hey, he said, like, let me get a list of, like, the wealthiest people in Southern California, and he just mailed them a letter. He just put a letter together and mailed it to them. And the butler or something got the one guy's, and he gave it to the owner. He's like, maybe. And the guy, I think they said it might have been Michael Dell from Dell Computers, but it was a private person, unidentified person. But they said, like, Dovey Francis is the guy who sent the letter, and they said, like, I just got your letter in the mail. Can you come see me? And it was like at 2 a.m. in the morning or something. The guy's like, yeah. And sold him the largest life insurance policy in history off a direct mail piece. New factories in Europe. No, new factory is right here in Rome, New York, which is like absolute trash pile. I mean, like, I hate to say that. It's like, but I live in Utica, and Rome is like the scummy, like, but it's a fine place. It's a totally fine place. It's like 10 minutes away, and we knock on each other. No, it's here. He's building a $1.1 billion factory, another one here. Amazing story. But he grew this company from by himself. I mean, with a great team, he gave his employees, like, they have 10% shareholders. He never took on private equity. I think that's a really interesting story too, because he was almost gave up his business to private equity, and then I think at one point he did, to a small degree, and then ended up buying it back. For a lot of business people, that is insanely risky to own a company the size of Chobani and be the one, like, sole CEO, like, owner, and not give it up or take it public. But he has managed to keep it private. So if Chobani, is something disastrous happen, his whole net worth, well, maybe not his, but his whole company would be gone. Like, he'd have no way out. Amazing guy, incredible guy, but all from direct mail. What I wanted to mention, and I'll look through the comments, was with the mailing 5,000 EDDM, the cost of 5,000 is so substantially cheaper per piece than 2,500 or 1,000. That's a big reason too. The cost just drops. You start hitting 5,000 5,000 is like not the most efficient print run, but it starts where you hit the like biggest break in pricing. It doesn't go down from there too much. 10,000 is not really much cheaper at all than 5,000 per piece. 20,000, really not much cheaper. If you want 100,000 cards, you're not really going to, there's not going to be some drastic difference per piece. But you go from 1,000 to 2,500, it's a huge drop off. 2,500 to 5,000, big drop off. And then at 5,000, it's kind of this really efficient quantity. So that's another reason to go with 5,000, because per piece, it's really not that much. Oh, Jeremy, you missed so much good stuff, man. So much good stuff. Hey, Travis, good to see you. William Council says, what are your thoughts on adding online businesses on a 9x12? I don't think they do very well. Someone is texting me recently about sending an affiliate offer on EDDM, and I told them, I mean, we can't predict anything, so we don't know what'll happen, but I've never seen affiliate offers or e-commerce work on direct mail. I've never seen it. Never seen it work. Because it's really hard to get enough ROI off affiliate. I just feel like those are much better where you can target a precise audience digitally, you know, across the nation. They're not bound to a local geographic area. So I don't see online businesses or e-commerce doing great with cold direct mail. Now, if you're interacting with online ads, if you show whatever to be a high prospect for that product, then yes, direct mail would be great. Hey, Robert Schindel. No notification. YouTube is the worst. American Mailbox Mailer just had a great meeting with the chamber president. Oh, nice. With the Chamber of Commerce. That's amazing. Amy Hall is here. Thank you. Sarah LaPaglia is here. I don't even know where she is, but she's here somewhere. Where the heck is she? You wouldn't believe where we are. There's vineyards. I got a private pond right here. The kids are fishing. I had to remove the hooks yesterday. They're playing pool down there. I can hear them screaming. Then two-web pink eye. What does Ladero say? I definitely should learn more of your system. I came across a video on YouTube and want to market my service-based business better. Thanks for the live. It's reminded to dive deeper. Yeah, I appreciate that, and I would love to see you really make this happen. You can go down the rabbit hole and just go through my videos, go through my podcasts. There's so much to learn. It's just so much. There's so much, but it's so fun. Biggest Little Postcard says, thank you for the quick turnaround on the cards. They looked amazing, and I've been getting great feedback from the companies on them. Let's run through those shout-outs again, too, because some of you might have missed them. We've got Danielle Burton. We got Chris Simpson, trading spaces for his spots on his card. That's incredible. Got that bouncy house for free. I think Scott Miser got his kitchen remodeled for free or something, or his lawn care, or something like that. Danielle Burton, Chad Crawford, beautiful card. A lot of Texans here. David Devine in Pennsylvania. Cody Woods. Noddenhutton, am I saying it right? Noddenhutton, Ohio. Jeremy Monroe, San Francisco. William Troiano in North Carolina. Charmaine, I think we put the wrong card on there. Charmaine Adkins in Nevada with her second card. Jason McCoy with his second card. Laura Cavalier. And it's Laura Cavalier. I don't know why it says Cavalier Lara. It's Laura Cavalier. I think because on your email it was reversed. Great looking family there. And great looking card. Brian Strausheim with his second card. He was live here a little bit ago. Hit that like button, guys. That's all the shout outs I have for today that we get together. Hit that like button. If you have any questions, please ask. Oh, William says he's been calling customers. Sorry. You should be calling. You should be, yeah, I'm sorry it's bounced. Let me try to, hang on. Let me try to get this Maybe that'll work. That might work. Sorry about that. The alternative is not doing one, and that wouldn't be good. The Candace says I do a great job of sharing real life info. That's why I'm always here. Thank you. Oh my God, it's Thursday. I know. It's Thursday. Someone had a question that I might have. Oh yeah, DRC said I'm gonna do a 9x12 food passport here in Alaska. Average plate $20. I think I'm gonna have the same restaurants. Oh yeah, so 2 to 3 pizza joints. You could, if it's there's nothing wrong with that. If you're making a specific food card, and you could jam pack that thing with ads. So if I was making a complete food card, which are the best cards in my opinion, the most well received, the most responsive, just no one's gonna not want one of them cards in there. Jam it full of ads. Just jam it full of ads, as many ads as you can, and it may make sense to open up competitors and just have them stick it out. Sure, totally. I think that is a good idea. Looking through if I missed some questions. Targeted mailings, and thank you, Ladero, for tuning in. I don't think I've seen you on the live, so thank you. First time, I think. Who said? Danielle said that she was asked about the targeted mailers, so that'd be good to talk about. Targeted mailings is where some big money is, really big money. Really big money, because you can then get invested in their results. You can really make a difference in someone's company. You can astronomically improve their business with targeted mailings. EDDM can only take you so far because it's not targeted. It's great. I love EDDM, but targeted mailings is really where the money is. You can make so much money for them and you because you have the cost and the involvement of researching the list and getting the customer data, selling that data, so you're making a profit on that data. Just the time involved in brainstorming, coming up who to send to, maybe making multiple cards that go to different audience segments and figuring out what those segments are and gearing the cards to be precisely to those segments. You might be older, middle-aged, younger crowds, different income levels, different ethnicities, different life stages, and you just gear your cards to those specific segments. Response can really go through the roof when you start honing in on those precise audience. And those audiences are very small. When you start looking through the targeted data, it's very small. So if you look up like married couples between 45 and 60 who make over $250,000 a year, who live in this radius, like that number will be very, very small. And even in a major metro city, it may be like 3,000 people. And it's like, why aren't we mailing to these? Like, let's just mail to these precise audience. Really great. Bruce says, I heard you say if we join the elite group, we get discounted pricing. No, there's elite pricing. You can email me and I can send that to you. Joshua says, where I live, there are only about 20,000 homes. So would a targeted mailer make more sense? No, targeted mailing would totally make sense because where you live with 20,000 homes, service industry, mostly you're going to be doing these for service industries, almost guaranteed. These are going to be for like service industries. So likely they're going to be servicing a much larger area than just Tooele or whatever. They might be in the whole county, which opens up a lot more home. They're not just like, I'm pretty sure you don't get replacement windows or roofing or driveway concrete or something and they say, we don't go outside this city. They'll be covering a large area. So you can span maybe even the whole county and pick from there because they'll service that whole area. Targeted mailings make sense in almost every case. I would say just not restaurant, just not food. Food doesn't really need to be targeted. It can go EDDM. But everything else is better targeted for solo mailers. EDDM is easy to sell, and it's easy for people to dip their feet in. And if they're getting good results with EDM, they're going to get really good results with targeted. So sometimes you just need to get a campaign going. You just don't want any fuss about it. You just want to hit certain neighborhoods and areas of town, and that's great. But targeted mailing is really where the big money is and big results. Play around with those numbers. Go on USA Data, consumer list, and just start playing with numbers. Just start thinking of who clients would want to reach. Okay, think of home service agencies and who industry, and who would they want to reach? What age ranges? Are the people married? Do they make X amount of money? Are they within a certain age range? Do they live in homes that are maybe older, not newer? Think of who exactly they'd want to reach, and then go look those numbers up and then get a count. You can use that count and then prospect with it. I have a guide somewhere that shows that exact strategy. I can't think of which one it is. You find that precise audience, and then you approach the business saying, hey, I own whatever marketing. I have a list of people 45 to 60 who make over $250,000 a year that live in homes that are older than 20 years. In this radius, would you like to maybe mail to them? Something to that effect. Most business owners don't know that that's even possible. They don't even know that that's possible, or they wouldn't have a clue how to even get started. So if you just bring that to them on a silver platter, the sales come very easy. Someone just sent me money. Will Bradwell of EDDM Tools of Rapid Slips. If you don't know, I'll shout out Will Bradwell. He made this incredibly good tool. Someday I'll make a video on it. Where if you buy an EDDM, when you do your EDDM, you download the paperwork after you buy it from USPS, and you just drag and drop it into his software, which is just on the browser. You don't have to download anything. You just drag and drop it in, and it just instantly generates it. It just instantly fills out all the facing slips, fills out the main form. All your facing slips are literally filled out instantly. It's crazy. It's the best thing ever. Yeah, I hope they get them pink eyes gone. I hope no one else gets out, but I don't get it. It can't be touching the eyes. Thank you. I appreciate you, Will, a lot. William says, how does a company validate a coupon or discount on a card? The business will have to figure that out, but it's usually a part of their POS system. So they might enter a certain code, or they might just mark something in their POS system that says coupon received, this thing. And every time someone gets that discount, it means a redemption went through. And some just keep the copies. They apply a discount, and they keep the little tear-offs, and they count them up. A lot of small mom and pop industries do that. They just count them up after. Sometimes, if you're in our Facebook group, you can see pictures where people have shared the pictures that some business owners send them of just like piles of the redempted coupons. Ladero says, just filed the podcast and we'll binge listen. Yes, good. Good. Jane is still up. It's 2:20 a.m. there. She yesterday or the other day, I think she stopped at like 5 a.m. Like, Jane, you gotta go to bed. Robert Schindel asks, so precise audiences require a bulk permit? Yes. Yeah, you would have us do it under our permit. You wouldn't want to tackle that yourself. You would have us do it under our permit. But it would just, we'd mail to whatever list you wanted. But yeah, that's a whole other animal than EDDM. Kyle says, I love this channel. I've been watching the heck out of it. Thank you. Thank you. I've got plans for a lot of videos coming up. A lot. You're going to see so many videos come out. Kyle says he's looking at one of my guides right now. Nice. Joshua Polche says, how does the process work with printing and sending them out? Do we send you the design? Oh, for targeted mailings. It's really easy. You just give us a list and your artwork, but your artwork has to be formatted in a certain way. So for targeted mailings, you can only use a few sizes. Like, you got to use 5x7, 6x9, or 6x11. It can't go any bigger than that, or the postage will go up way too high. So they're smaller postcards, but 6x11 and 6x9 are still really big cards. They're nice cards. But you have to use a ton of white space. It kind of sucks, but there has to be this huge chunk of white space. It has to be 4 inches wide by, we like to see 3 inches tall of white space in the bottom left corner. You have to have that white space. It's just USPS needs it, and we need enough space for the addresses. Sometimes people have really long addresses. There just has to be that space. The USPS is going to put marks on it. We have to put a barcode on it. The nice thing about targeted mailing, besides going to a target audience, is we use the intelligent mail barcode, which every single piece has to get scanned. So if you do 5,000 pieces, every single piece is scanned. It's scanned when it originally gets entered into the mail stream and when it gets delivered. So the carrier has to scan that thing right at where they deliver it. So I can pull up all of our targeted mailings at any given point and see exactly how many are delivered, and then pull up and see every single scan, every single one of them, every single scan. It's crazy. It's really nice. So you know exactly when they deliver. Exactly. Remember, it's not like EDM where it's going to a whole neighborhood. So if you have, it might be one carrier is getting 10 of them on his route. Another carrier is getting 5 of them. There might be 40 carriers delivering these. Brian says, well, J Dogat says, J-Dog AGT says, awesome content. Thank you. Brian, who has the big shout out today with his second card, right? Would a 30,000 targeted mail campaign be expensive? Had a client asking questions about this recently. I do have pricing on the pricing sheet for it. Postage doesn't go down. It breaks off at like 500 to 1,000 pieces, and then it pretty much stays. So there's a lot of variables that go into postage for targeted mailings. There's a lot. And if you have 30,000 pieces, like almost every one will be a slightly different amount of postage. It's calculated on like how far they have to go. If you're covering a huge area, some will have to deliver longer than others. But averaging out, you'll be around like 43 cents, somewhere around there per piece in postage. And then there's the mailing part of it. So with mailing, you've got prep, addressing. So you're probably like 70 cents per piece all in, something like that for 30,000 pieces. And it depends on the size too. It's about twice the cost of EDDM, but you're hitting 10 times the targets. So it's really cheap. It's actually cheaper. Jay Wright is here. He's at work. He'll watch the replay later. I think as a marketer, just knowing about targeted mailings and knowing how to craft good direct mail campaigns, you can work magic. You can work some real magic. Erica says, how do you target just businesses? I've had a few ask for. Easy. You're literally just going to pull a list of businesses. You can look them up at usadata.com on their business search. It's totally free. I love that data. You can also even use your library's reference. It's now called Data Axle Reference Solutions, and get free lists. But you would just you would look up the list and find exactly the businesses you want to target. So that could be certain industry within a certain location, employee size, revenue. It could be like a credit rating thing. You could narrow this thing down to the businesses they want to target and just mail. If it's under 500, you might even be better just putting stamps and stuff on them and mailing to that list, stamps and labels. But if it's over 500 or 1,000, you'd want to use me or any mail house to just bulk mail it. Tony Tadeo says, hey, Jake, thank you for all you do. Oh, I appreciate you. Still working on my first. Collected tons of emails from websites and socials that return his address. From websites and socials that have returned his address not found. Oh, for emails? Yeah, I'm not a big emailer. Someone else with email expertise could help with that. So I don't know, because I don't do a lot of email prospecting anymore. I think that's just nature of the beast. I think the best thing is to mix up your prospecting methods and do some calling and some stopping in person. If you can get a hold of 5 business owners a day, you're going to sell a space. And then it's just a matter of talking to 5 people every day. Sarah Walson says, when I sent my 5,000 piece mailing out, I was geared towards it getting mailed out to a whole county, but the county is 5,600 people. Is it possible to order 6,000 cards, or is the next quantity 10K? You can definitely do 6,000 cards, and you'd probably be better off doing 7,500, because I think 7,500 will probably cost. Well, if you got 5,600, I'd probably just do 5,000 and 1,000. Because if we print 600 cards, it's going to cost the same as doing 1,000. So you're probably better off doing 1,000 print run, and then a 5,000 print run. And if you wanted that 6,000 or so, I'd do a 7,500 print run, which is often a 5,000 and a 2,500. We don't get 7,500s that often, so we usually do a 5,000 and a 2,500, but sometimes we can do a 7,500 piece run. You definitely don't want to order 10,000 just to get 600. That wouldn't make sense. I do 1,000 or 2,500. You just have to look the prices, see which would make more sense. I was explaining gang run printing to someone recently, and a good analogy is a bus stop. You know, if you're taking a bus, because someone's like, can't you just print me 4,280 cards? I don't need 5,000. I don't need 5,000. Just print 4,280 for me. And it's kind of like taking a bus. You know, you could take a private cab to your grandma's house or whatever, and it would take you right there in the next state over. Or you could take a bus, you know, where everyone pays the cost, and it's a little more comfortable. The downside is it's got to go to the same destination, and then everyone gets off and goes where they need to go. The bus cannot just stop at your grandma's and drop you off there. It doesn't work that way. It has to go to the next destination, even though it might be further. It doesn't make sense. You're like, why it's further? Why can't the bus just drop me off? I see grandma's house right over there. I see my auntie's house right over there. Just drop me off. It will not do that. You know, you have to go to the next nearest place. And that's why it's cheaper. Even though the bus ticket is cheaper, the plane ticket is cheaper than flying private. The commercial ticket of flying is cheaper, but you have to get off at the same location. Sam Malik says, quick question about 9x12. If there are businesses on both sides, how does that work with coupons? My little secret is you put in each ad, the whole ad isn't a coupon. Only part of the ad is a coupon, right? It's an ad and then it has a coupon in it. So you just put on one side the coupons on the bottom half, and then on the other side you put them on the top half. That way when you cut them out, they don't cut each other out. Erica says, how do you target just business? Oh, I just did that. Yeah. You got to see Sticky Sellers. I have a product called Sticky Sellers. You should have it. If you don't have that, you email me and Zoe will hook you up with that. You tell Zoe to hook you up with Sticky Sellers. How do you get your targeted home addresses? I love usadata.com. I love their data, their prices. I can get it a little cheaper too if you guys want to buy a list through me. It doesn't matter. It's still really reasonable. Their data is really good. It's very, very good. And you just look it up. Go to usadata.com. There's a little box that says consumer or business look up, I think. And you can just look it up. It's amazing. You can look up the counts, and then you buy them when you're ready. So then you would get the list, and then you would say, Jake, I want to mail to this. You get the artwork, and then we print it onto the cards. And then we mail it. There's a whole process. There's a whole process on that part. We don't need to talk about that. Joshua says he set up an SL36. I love, okay, nice. My library card grants me access to the A to Z data. See, A to Z is great because you can download it for free. The data is not as pristine, but it's good, especially for businesses. It's great. I would use data A to Z. SL360 is really good for consumer though, and for crazy data where you're trying to get really deep into the data. Erica does have sticky sellers. Yeah. Go through it. Kyle says, what is the best course to buy from you? I would say, yeah, there's a lot. I mean, I have, it's wild to think, but 15 years, since 2011, I've been making these guides. Sorry, it's so shaky. They're all still good. Like, you can literally go through almost everything, and they're great. But if you wanted to spend your money just on the best, I would if you're interested in 9x12 system, I would get the 9x12 mastery course, and I would pick up elite membership. I would pick up those two things, and you will be good to go. You'll have a lot. You'll have more than you need. Oh, Greg does coupons bottom and prints head to toe. That works too. Greg schooled me on, I still don't believe it. Greg schooled me on, I've never seen that USPS regulation, but he was pissed because he did a mailing, and it was you, right, Greg? It was you. I'm pretty sure it was you. And yeah, it was you. They didn't deliver in a lobby to every individual mailbox in an apartment building. I have always been under the impression and told by carriers that it just goes in a stack just goes in on the mailboxes, that they don't have, for saturation, where it says local postal customer doesn't need to go into the mailboxes. That's the downside of saturation mail, that they can just put a thing on there. I've always been told that, and I've seen it happen over and over, and I've talked to carriers and they say that. I've always been under that impression, but he showed me some marketing regulations, some regulations from the USPS that says it has to, for occupant mailings, that they have to go in every single mailbox. So that's pretty wild. Sam says I solved his problem. Thanks a lot. Well, thank you. Chief problem solver. Sarah says that she has 9x12 mastering. You can't go wrong with those two. The rest of the products are great for after you've been through those and you're looking for something more, or you're looking to go down a rabbit hole in like some specific direction, like maybe solo mailers or consulting or M3s or print marketing, and you want more guides on those specific things. Joshua Polche says in one of your courses you talk about, that's the black, the dark document. In one of your courses you say about how Target can predict, Oh my God, the daughter killed in a crash. That was crazy. Staples, if you look this up, Target got in trouble for predicting the 16-year-old being pregnant. She started getting, this 16-year-old girl, I'm pretty sure she was 16, started getting like mail addressed to her at her house, and it was like diapers and stuff, and the dad was pissed, and he's like complaining to Target, why are you sending my daughter mailers about diapers and stuff and pregnancy tests? And then all of a sudden she was pregnant, and he was like, oh my God, I didn't realize. And then they exposed this whole huge amount of algorithms, and like now it would be AI, but they were like, what they were doing was in the store was determining if you bought these two specific like multivitamins, and it wasn't like prenatals, it was like this thing that like wasn't even directly pregnancy related, but there was a high chance that this person was about to be pregnant. It wasn't like buying prenatals. It was like people who bought vitamin D along with like this other random thing, like showed this high propensity of being pregnant. So they started sending flyers with diapers and stuff in it because they knew that person was probably couldn't get pregnant. But there's a Staples one where Staples, someone's got to look this up. Staples got in a lot of trouble because they sent a guy. I'm only laughing about this at how crazy it is, not about the circumstance, but sent this guy an ad or like a letter with an offer in it or something, and the data company accidentally, or Staples, whoever accidentally included the field on the from the data spreadsheet that said daughter killed in car crash recently. So Staples must have bought data that involved people who had recently had loved ones or family killed in a car crash. For whatever reason, they felt that that was a key piece of data to mail to. When you have tons of money, you're mailing to these trying to find these little audiences. For a lot of people, like crime scene cleanups or like maybe memorial type services, like you would be specifically looking for that list. If you sold a service that would be really useful for a product or a service that would be really useful for someone who just had a loved one die tragically or a pet die or something, you would want to buy these lists. That data exists. Like, that makes sense, that why that data is out there. But to include the field, the Excel field that says daughter killed in car crash, and they accidentally like included that onto the name of the person. So you got like John Smith, daughter killed in car crash, 43 Ford Lane, and Staples like sent them an ad. It exposes how wild the data market is here, and we have very low privacy. A lot of this stuff comes from your phone too. When you download apps and you just agree to your data in the fine print, it gets all sold off. Data being sold off is a huge market. Sizes for targeted mailing is most common that you want to use is 5x7, 6x9, or 6x11. I would go with one of those three. The postage is all the same. They all go first class. They all go first class. The post office a couple years ago gave the very small postcard discount, 4x6 cards, applied it to the bigger postcards. It was really nice. You used to only be able to mail them standard class, which takes longer. No, I'm sorry. The 6x11s can't go first class at that rate. They have to go standard class, which means they just can take a few days longer to deliver. But 5x7 and 6x9 can go first class at the same price. Erica says that when she did her 30,000 mailings with the directory, I had many. So far, my clients say they didn't get one in their mailbox in an apartment building. Yeah, I don't think, maybe the rule is that they have to. I wasn't aware of that until I saw it, but they're not going to. That's not going to change things. That ultimately, unless you cause a big scene. Jay Kraft is in Minneapolis, and he's here. Mystical Dragonfly says, how often should we do a business directory? Do a business directory. Oh, that's up to you, but I would probably do quarterly. You know, a month is too much, in my opinion, for those. I would do quarterly or even bi-yearly. Juan Quintero says, what's the best practice for reaching out if on a tight timeline? Email. Yeah, you got to use them all. You're on a tight timeline. You got to maximize your time. And you really got to work on how you're going to reach these people as fast and efficiently as possible. So you're going to want to be, I would be calling, emailing, Facebook messaging, and visiting in person. I would be doing all of them. Greg says we received a private list that had credit card numbers in the data. Yeah. Oh, totally. Oh my God. I don't think I've seen that, but that doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, you see all sorts of crazy stuff. I have business owners that they'll send me pictures of their credit card and be like, can you run this please for, this might be like a $20,000 campaign, and they'll take pictures on their iPhone of their credit cards. Like, come on. Had the credit card numbers and the data. Oh my God. I'm gonna man, not anymore, but years ago, I had my first membership software for my site was privately built You know, it wasn't like a huge, it was some kind of thing I got. This, you're going way back. But the software didn't encrypt anyone's passwords. So everyone's password that was on my site for an account, my membership, I could see their passwords. And I had to tell the developer, I don't really trust. That's why I stopped using it. I go, I can see everyone's passwords. People put their passwords in. I shouldn't be able to see their passwords. Like, I'm not a software person, but no one should be able to see someone's password like that. It should be encrypted. I could see everyone's passwords. Look up, I could just see everyone's passwords. And there's a good chance that those passwords are also used for their other, you know, people reuse the same passwords all the time. Or a hacker comes in and just gets access to all these unencrypted passwords. So that the amount of like lackadaisical security out there is just pretty frightening. Joshua Polche, yeah, he's using Melissa data to figure out what routes have the most apartments, and I avoid them. Melissa data is so good. It also has a really good like kind of like skip tracing function with the property viewer, and you can literally just click on anywhere you want, and it'll show you that owner. It's really nice. Sometimes if I've had to try to find like who owns a certain property, there's many times I need to do that for things, and I can't find it anywhere else, and I have really good resource. I'll use Melissa Data's property viewer, and it will show instantly. All right, I'm probably gonna tie it up. I know it was a short audience here, but I appreciate every single one of you guys. I had a great time. Oh, you get to see my new studio. I've got it 80% there, but I'll have it done by next Thursday because it's pretty much there. There's a couple more pieces I want to put in. My little studio backdrop, it's really nice. Yeah, I think it's gonna look really nice. I haven't actually framed it completely on the camera, but I was waiting for a couple things to come in, and they came in, so I'll be getting on that, and I can't wait to see that. I appreciate you, Casey. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Hope you got a ton out of this. I'm just scrolling through. I don't think I'm missing anything. No, I don't think so. Joshua Polche, thanks for always showing up to my lives, and Erica, you too, and Casey. All right, that's it, guys. Have a great weekend. I will see you pretty soon. I'm gearing up for tons of videos coming out. Can't wait to show you my new backdrop. All right, guys.